it's Crystal, and today I'm going to show you how I made the Sympathy card. Now, as you previously seen on the screenshot before this, I'm using my February monthly card kit from Simon Says Stamp. Alright, so I started out here with an 8.5 by 11 piece sheet of cardstock, and I cut it in half. And then I just scored it at 4 1/4, so that will give me my A2 size card, which is 4 1/4 by 5.5. Now, this is that Martha Stewart mini scoreboard, and I really like this scoreboard because it has marked exactly where the A2 size is on your card, your 4 1/4. So there's like no room for guessing. And the first time I scored that, I scored a little bit too hard, and I ended up ripping my paper, so I had to use the other half that I had set aside. Now, I don't know why here, but could not for the life of me remember what my measurements were, so I had to get my ruler out and measure my card. So after I got done doing that, I decided on the sheet of cards, the printed cardstock that I was going to use, and I cut that down to size. I gave myself like a 1/4 of an inch border all the way around the card, and then I decided that I wanted to use some vellum. Now, vellum was not included in our card kit, but I had some in my stash, and I wanted to use some vellum. So I got that out. I trimmed that down to the same size as the pattern paper was, and I decided to use my new metallic StazOn ink. And you're just going to see me here messing around like I'm using this for the first time, so I had to put the ink down on the pad. So you just see me do that here. I had a really rough time trying to edit this video. I don't know what the problem was, if it was my computer or my software, but I was going to take all this out, but then like I said, I was running into so many problems when I came to edit this. It took me like 4 hours to get it uploaded to my computer, and yeah, so it was just a hot mess. So I'm using the stamp set that came with the kit, and I decided to use this flower. And what I'm going to do, first of all, what I do with all my stamps is I always stamp them first on some cardstock that I'm not using, just to make sure I get some good impressions and that the ink was settled nicely into the pad. And yeah, so I just did some practice stamps there to make sure it stamped out good. Now I'm going to stamp this flower on this vellum. I'm going to do in the lower left hand corner and in the upper right hand corner. So that's what you see me doing here. And I really like this metallic StazOn ink. It's really, really nice. You know, when you're stamping on vellum, because it's a slick surface, you have to be really careful not to shift your stamp or anything like that. But the images just came out so crisp and clean, and yeah, I like the stamp, and I like the ink, and I just really liked the look of this and the way it turned out. I was really, really happy with this. So I'm just creating my pattern on my vellum, and I'm just stamping on a magazine, so nothing special. So what I'm going to do now is pull out the smaller little flower that's in that stamp set, and just go ahead and stamp that out a couple times. So there you see me doing it on my scratch paper first before I actually do it onto my project. Okay, so I'm closing this stamp pad up because I thought I was going to be done with it, and then after I got it back in the packaging, I remembered that I was planning on using it again, even though I didn't. So this is a complete waste of time. And again, I want to edit that part out, but like I said, I was having major computer problems. So I'm just using some vellum tape here, and that's what works the best onto vellum, because you cannot see that adhesive behind there at all. So I'm going to pull this up a little bit closer to the camera so you can see that you can't see no tape lines and how the metallic looks on the vellum over top of the piece of cardstock. I was really, really happy with that. So I'm deciding with that second sheet there if I want to use it, and I decided not to, but I definitely wanted to use this doily, and I wanted to make a circle for the inside of the doily, and I didn't feel like pulling out none of my circle cutters or anything like that. So I just found something I had laying on my table here. It was a mason jar lid, and I just traced it. It worked perfect on the doily. I just traced it and then cut the circle out. So that's what you're going to see me doing now. And all in all, this card did not take me that long to put together. So it fits perfectly though. I was really happy with that. And now I'm just pulling the stamps out that I want to use for this. I want to use the hanger and then the 2 little heart stamps that's in the set. And now I'm just playing around positioning the hearts like the way I want it. And I was happy with it there, and then I decided the last minute I wanted the top of the lines from the hearts to actually touch or come very close to the hanger. So I'm just using some Brilliance Graphite Black ink pad here to stamp this. And once again, you're going to see me, I'm going to stamp it on the back side to make sure I get good even pressure and that it stamps good, and it does. So then I'm just going to go ahead here and flip that circle over and restamp that same image on the actual piece that I plan on using. And then after I get that done, I'm going to set that off to the side just for a couple minutes so it can dry, because this ink does stay wet a little bit for a little while. So I just set that off to the side, and then I decided that I wanted to use these hearts that came in the card kit as well. And I played around off camera with taking them, and I'm using that neon pink from Hero Arts, and I'm just taking the hearts and smushing it into the ink pad to pick up some of that pink color. I just thought it was a fun little touch instead of just leaving it the brown wood color, to actually add some pink to it. I'm trying to show you here. You can pick up, so you can see a little bit of that pink color there, but not much. So I set those off to the side just to dry for a few minutes. And then I'm going to stamp my sentiment that's going to read "Hang in there." And I'm using some StazOn black ink on this. And I am off frame a little bit. I apologize. I do end up pulling it back up into frame here, but yeah. So yeah, there you see me using my StazOn ink, and again, I'll stamp that off on a scratch piece to make sure it stamps alright, and then I'll stamp it onto my actual project. Now, when I did this, because you only get one shot at doing it, because I'm doing it right onto my card front, when I pulled it up a little bit, I wiggled it a little bit. So, as you can see there, it did smudge a little bit, but nothing major. I could live with it, so. That's what I was saying in the beginning, how when you're dealing with vellum, it's a slick surface, so. And StazOn works the best onto that. So I went ahead and glued down the circle to the doily, and then I'm going to go ahead and add those hearts. And for the glue for this, I am just using some glossy accents. I had enough on the back of the heart. I don't even know why I messed around putting the glue to the paper, but I did there, and too much came out. So I just swiped it off with my finger, and then I'm going to go ahead and glue on that littler heart. And those hearts that came in that card kit was perfect to match up evenly with those hearts that was in a stamp set. So I was really happy with that. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and adhere the card front to the card base. And again, sorry, I'm off frame a little bit. This card was really easy to put together. It didn't take me like no time at all, but it's like the filming part of it and editing part of this card took me forever. So I decided that before I went ahead and glued on the doily to the front of it, that I will go ahead and work on the inside. So I'm just taking the scrap piece I had left over from the front of the card, and I'm going to go ahead and glue adhere that to the inside, just to create a nice little border. And the stamp set here is from Kaiser Craft. It's one of those mini stamp sets I got from Joann's. And I chose to use 2 of the sentiments out of that one. I'm using the With Sympathy, and then the one right below that I used Wishing You Strength for Today and Hope for Tomorrow. So I'm just going to go ahead and use some, I think I used StazOn ink on this one as well. I'm not for sure. I can't remember. But I'm just going to go ahead and make sure it all lines up and it stamps out perfectly again, and it did. Then I'm going to go ahead and just stamp it right into my card. And when you're doing this, you only get one shot to do this, so it did mess up a little bit. The wishing got a little bit squished, but again, it wasn't that noticeable. A lot of times we just notice these things when we're making our cards because we're so picky, but your recipient won't even notice it. So I'm going to go ahead and glue on the doily to the front of the card. And that pretty much sums up my card. Very, very simple, very, very easy. I was really happy with the way this card turned out. Like I said, if you watched my previous card share video, I was really excited about this card kit, but for some reason I had a really hard time creating with it. And not only that, I had a hard time uploading and editing this video. So guys, I apologize for everything with this video, but yeah, it is what it is. Alright everyone, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and check back later for another card, and sign up for my giveaway that is in a previous video. So go ahead and check that out. Alright guys, thank you so much and have a wonderful day. Bye.